Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from today. Welcome to our webinar, Power Up Your Business with Microsoft Power Pages and Copilot Studio Bots. My name is Melissa Kharkumar, but you can call me Merli. I'm so excited to be your host today, and it's wonderful to see so many of you joining us from around the world. Before we get started, let's quickly go over a few guidelines to ensure we all have a smooth and engaging webinar experience. Firstly, we highly encourage your curiosity and engagement. Feel free to ask questions at any point during the presentations. Just pop your questions into the chat box on the bottom right pane on your screen. We'll address these during the Q&A session at the end of our webinar. Secondly, keeping an eye on the clock, every 5 minutes we'll pop up interactive polls to ensure everyone's on track and grasping the material. Let's stay engaged and check our understanding together. For those of you who might want to revisit any part of today's discussions or share it with your colleagues, we've got you covered. This webinar is being recorded and will be available for all attendees to access post-event. And one last housekeeping note, all participant lines are muted to keep our audio clear and free from distractions. Now that we've covered the guidelines, I'd like to take a moment to introduce Apps Tech Corp to everyone joining us today. Apps Tech Corp is a digital transformation partner that leverages innovation to provide businesses with advanced technology consulting and solutions. As a proud member of NASSCOM and a certified organization adhering to rigorous ISO and CMMI standards, Apps Tech Corp delivers exceptional expertise across a comprehensive range of services. Subsidiaries of Apps Tech Corp, such as Image Vision AI and IntelOps AI, utilize the latest technological advancements to support scalable growth and drive business progress. With over a decade of experience and a team of highly skilled professionals, Apps Tech Corp stays at the forefront of innovation. Our services include digital engineering, data analytics, cognitive technologies, quality engineering, app modernization, managed services, and much more. You can find more detailed information about our services and expertise on our website at appstechcorp.com. Now let's move forward and introduce our speaker for the evening, Mr. Rajesh Velichala, the technical lead at Apps Tech Corp. With over a decade of experience, Rajesh is an expert in SharePoint and a certified Microsoft Power Platform developer. His expertise spans a range of significant projects from SharePoint intranets and content migrations to business process automation workflows, Power Apps, custom web parts, and integrations. It's my pleasure to hand over the stage to him. Please join me in warmly welcoming Rajesh, who will now share his valuable insights with us. Welcome, Rajesh.
Thanks, Melissa. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone, depending on from where you have joined this webinar. So let's look at today's webinar agenda quickly. So first, we'll see an overview of the current low-code market and its expected growth rate. Then we'll move on to the introduction of Power Pages and Copilots, followed by the capabilities of both Power Pages and Copilots, two industry use cases of these technologies, followed by a quick demo of the tools. Then we'll be taking any questions in the end. So I know you're all looking forward to this webinar. So without any further ado, let's get into our topic today, which is Power Up Your Business with Microsoft Power Pages and Copilot Studio Bots. So I thought it would be interesting to have a look at the low-code market today and to get an understanding of why the topic of low-code has become important now more than ever. So as you can see here on the top left, as per markets and markets analysis, the total market size of the low-code development platform is expected to reach $45.5 billion by 2025 at a growth rate of around 28% during the 2020 to 2025 period. So the key drivers in this low-code development platform are something like growing digitalization in IT industry, reduced software development costs, faster app development and launch cycle, and enhanced customer experience. Forrester Research has estimated that this low-code market could approach up to 50 billion US dollars by 2028. And just as a quick introduction, so we can also notice the image on right that Microsoft has been recognized as one of the leaders in the low-code application platform conducted by Gartner in August 2023. So now let's get to the topic of what is Power Pages, sorry. So Power Pages is a part of the Microsoft Power Platform, which also consists of Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, and Copilots. And of course, there are other components like AI Builder, Dataverse, and data connectors. But the focus of our webinar today will be Power Pages and Copilots. So Power Pages is the newest member of the Microsoft Power Platform family. With Power Pages, you can build sites by using the same shared business data, which is stored in Microsoft Dataverse. It is a secure, enterprise-grade, low-code SaaS platform or a software as a service platform for creating, hosting, and administering modern external-facing business websites. So whether you're a low-code maker or a professional developer, Power Pages empowers you to rapidly design, configure, and publish websites that work across web browsers and devices. It provides rich, customizable templates, a fluid visual experience through the Design Studio. It also has an integrated learning hub to quickly build sites for your unique business needs. So here are some of the examples where Power Pages may be used. So for example, if you're trying to create a customer self-service portal, so this portal will allow your customers to access and update their profiles. And it also provides access to support resources, some FAQs, and knowledge-based articles. This also enables your customers to submit and track support tickets. Another example can be a partner or vendor portal. So facilitate collaboration with your external partners by sharing information and resources. So you can provide access to shared documents, project updates, and communication channels. And you can also enable vendors to submit invoices, track payments, or manage contracts from here. You can even share product information, order statuses, and other collaboration tools. And third example might be an events registration portal. So you can set up portals for event registration and also their management. So this will allow your participants to access event details, agendas, and materials. And the other example can also be membership and associations portal. So where you can manage your memberships and subscriptions and also provide exclusive content or the resources to the registered members. So there are many examples, but these are just few examples and, for the few use cases. So there are a lot more possible, like the government citizens portals, travel partners portal, university enrollment portals, or the real estate or non-profit services portals, and so on. So having looked at what is Power Pages and some of its use cases, let's move to the next topic, which is copilots. So before we move on to the next topic, I just wanted to let you all know that we'll look at two of the industry-specific use cases of Power Pages at the end. Okay, now moving on to copilots. So what are copilots? You might have heard of the name Power Virtual Agents before. So copilots or copilot bots have the same capabilities and features and are now part of something called Microsoft Copilot Studio. This Microsoft Copilot Studio is a graphical low-code tool for creating and maintaining copilots. It is powered by the AI language models and some additional sources of knowledge. It can act as a powerful AI companion that can handle a wide range of requests, be it simple responses to common questions or resolving issues using complex conversation requirements. These copilots can engage with customers or employees in multiple languages across websites, mobile apps, social media like Facebook, or enterprise chat app like Microsoft Teams, or any of the channels which are supported by the Azure bot service. You can easily create copilots using the Copilot Studio without the need of any data scientists or, in fact, developers. So some of the ways you might consider using copilots are, for example, if you take retail industry, you can use it for any sales help and for related support issues, or to know opening hours or store information. And if you take the example of your employees, you can use copilots for informing employee health and also their vacation benefits, or public health tracking information as well. And you can even add common employee questions for businesses there. Okay, so now that we have learned about copilots, let's see the type of Copilot Studio versions and in which scenarios they might be helpful. So as you can see here, Copilot Studio is available as both a standalone web app and as a separate app within the teams. In terms of functionality, both versions are mostly the same, but there might be different reasons to choose one version or the other based on the ways you want to use your Copilot Studio. So let's get to know with some examples of when each version could be used. So the web app can be used in cases like, for example, when your IT admin wants to create copilots for your users, or a Copilot user who wants to explore advanced Copilot concepts such as entities and variables and might want to create complex copilots. And coming to the Copilot Studio Teams app, it can be used in scenarios like, for example, where an employee or the member of your organization wants to use copilots to answer common employee questions, or if you want to create and distribute a copilot in the shortest possible time. Okay, so since we have also seen the types of Copilot Studios, let's move to the next slide to learn more about the capabilities of Power Pages. So looking at the Power Pages capabilities, the first one that you see is simplified authoring experience. So what does that exactly mean? You can quickly create new sites directly from the Power Pages homepage by using the default template, or choose from existing industry-based starter templates and update those as needed. So we'll be seeing those in a quick demo today, actually. And the other capability is advanced development options for professional developers. So that is, the makers can work with professional developers to extend this functionality using Visual Studio Code and the Microsoft Power Platform CLI, or the command line interface, to create powerful business application websites. Coming to design and responsive rendering, what this means is you can build powerful and engaging sites without writing a single line of code using the Power Pages Design Studio. And also Power Pages is based on Bootstrap, which natively provides support for building websites that are responsive, mobile-friendly, and available in various form factors. The new and enhanced Power Pages Design Studio provides 4 workspaces for you. So the first one is Pages Workspace, which is for creating, designing, and arranging your web pages. The other one is Styling Workspace to apply styles and themes to your site. The third one is the Data Workspace for creating and modifying Microsoft Dataverse tables, which are used in data-driven web applications. And the fourth and the final one is Setup Workspace, which is basically for administration and site management. Now, coming to security and governance. Inbuilt security is at the core of Power Pages. It allows your organization to securely enable access of your business data to the users, whether it might be internal or external, through the Power Pages authorization rules. So let's look at some of those security features here. So organizations which use Power Pages can choose from various authentication providers or even allow access to site content anonymously. So Power Pages is hosted as Azure App Service, which has the ISO and the system and organization controls of the SOC, and even the payment card industry data security standards, or in short, PCI DSS compliance. Power Pages supports modern TLS crypto standards, which is TLS 1.2, and has built-in Azure DDoS protection. It also supports dynamic IP restriction to limit traffic from any bad actors and provides secure configuration-driven mechanisms for your admins to address top security vulnerabilities, such as injection attacks, cross-site request forgery, or server-side request forgery. You can also configure Power Pages to use edge caching and also web application firewall or the WAF capabilities. Power Pages also provides helpful tools for administrators to manage the administration and lifecycle of their sites and environments. Coming to integration, Power Pages provides deep integration with other Microsoft Power Platform components that we have discussed earlier, like Dataverse, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, and Copilot Studio. Having looked at the Power Pages capabilities, so let's move on to the Copilot Studio capabilities next. Okay, so coming to the Copilot Studio capabilities, we see two of the main capabilities on this slide. So those are customize and build. So let's explore more about those. By taking advantage of the customizing capability, you can design tailored conversations for predictable scenarios that require specific responses. For example, like compliance or regulatory topics. You can ease your business process by using a copilot to automate complex business tasks, such as submitting expenses or onboarding your employees or even updating benefits as some of the examples. So you can select, edit, and refine data using over 1,000 pre-built connectors as plugins, connecting business applications such as SAP or Workday with your Copilot. You can even build and publish custom plugins, GPTs, and prompts, and get your business data wherever you need it. So let's see what is the build capability can do for us. So you can enhance your Copilot capabilities by pointing your Copilot to external sources such as websites or even your internal knowledge bases and train it to answer the questions from those sources as well. So we'll see a quick demo of it at the end. So, and coming to the other build capability, you can build, test, and chain plugins and GPTs for your Copilots by integrating Microsoft Power Platform connectors, Power Automate flows, custom topics, and AI prompts. You can configure, train, and connect services within Azure, such as the Azure OpenAI service, knowledge bases, and language models. You can easily distribute your Copilot across a variety of channels, which includes websites and social media, to enhance user engagement wherever your users are. Okay, now let's look at some more capabilities of this tool. As you can also see here, that Copilot offers various design and platform-specific capabilities as well. Let's explore each of those here. Coming to design, we can use the expansive conversational design tools and the graphical interface to create intricate conversations with robust variable management, logic, and responses. You can enhance experiences, engage your users, and drive customer enhancement with rich dynamic responses, real-time notifications, and personalized interactions. You can always create copilots using natural language or a graphical interface, or even switch to code views. You can enhance collaboration with commenting for seamless creation and feedback from other coworkers. You can also test effortlessly within the studio or collaborate on test pages with your coworkers. If you look into the platform-specific capabilities, you can establish trust with comprehensive policies, access controls, and tailored environments which are available within the admin center. You can optimize responses and fine-tune your Copilot with built-in analytics with vital KPIs that can provide invaluable intelligence for your organization. You can use the benefits of software as a service or SaaS and eliminate the burdens of infrastructure management, maintenance, and updates, ensuring peak performance for your Copilot. You can expect the highest standards of governance, trust, and data control with a dedicated admin center, which is built using Microsoft Responsible AI principles. Now, let's see some of the industry use cases of both Power Pages and Copilots. Okay, so here, let's see a banking and capital markets industry use case for Power Pages. One of the big four accounting firms used an opportunity to enhance its service and build even more trust with its clients by trying to migrate from its legacy client decision support system to an enterprise grade tech-enabled solution. So the company has decided to create a multi-tenant Microsoft Power Pages solution by updating its data model using the Microsoft Dataverse and some C# plugins to handle the business logic. So it was able to create the final solution successfully within just 6 weeks, taking advantage of the benefits of low-code web development. So this has resulted in a considerable 85% cost savings and 30% time savings. Okay, now let's look at the architecture of their solution, which you can also see here on this slide. So as you can see here, the middle layer of this decision support system is a website which is built with Power Pages. So this was done so that both the external customers and the team members from the organization can both log into the site. So the multi-tenant features in the Power Pages ensure secure access to only the appropriate data, as each user is associated with only one environment. While the user is logged in, users provide information about their licensing portfolio and can view the snapshots of their existing coverage and costs. They can then model and analyze alternative scenarios at multiple levels, as well as take a deeper dive into the potential opportunities to optimize costs and coverage. The analysis and business logic computations are performed using C# plugins, which produce JSON data, which is then retrieved from the Dataverse, sitting in the data layer by the Power Pages web API. The JSON data structure is then transformed and integrated as the Microsoft Power Apps Framework Components, or the PCF, which ultimately renders web-friendly visuals for your site. Now it's time to check another industry use case of Power Pages. So here we see a professional services industry use case and see how they benefited from using Power Pages. So just to give you a background for this solution, when the COVID-19 pandemic hit the United States, the government there has passed an act which included financial support for small businesses. So this support was provided under the PPP, or the Paycheck Protection Program, which included loans as well as forgiveness on qualified expenses. And with the scope being huge, more than 5,000 US banks have processed over 500 billion US dollars in PPP loans since the program began, and over 5 million borrowers have benefited from it. So the challenge was that as the loan forgiveness program evolved, the eligibility criteria kept changing, making it very difficult to calculate the forgiveness levels and to process the claims. And the other thing was, since PPP was set up as a temporary program, stakeholders wanted only minimal investment in infrastructure and also operational costs. So they were looking for quick support from outside experts. And this is where this organization, which is one of the world's largest professional services firms, saw an opportunity to help with the situation. Now, let's see at the high-level details of their implemented solution. The PPP loan forgiveness solution that was created consisted primarily of two different applications: a borrower portal, which was created using Power Pages, and by the way, a screenshot of which you can see it here on this slide, and the lender application, which was developed using a Power Apps model-driven app. So both interacted with the same data that is stored within the Microsoft Dataverse. Each bank was provided with its own branded instance of the borrower portal and the lender app. And even the emails to the bank's PPP customers also carried the unique bank branding. So the solution works seamlessly with multiple third-party services using both pre-built and custom connectors. So this ability to connect with the multiple third-party services using Microsoft Power Platform was one of the most important aspects of this solution. And it's what enabled the tool to cover the entire application process and submit a complete loan forgiveness application So something that other competitors weren't able to match. An interesting fact is that using this tool, this firm has been able to process over 50,000 loans, which totaled more than 10 billion US dollars on behalf of its banking customers. And also, they were able to build this entire solution from prototype to production in just around 12 weeks. Now that we have seen two industry use cases related to Power Pages, let's move on to the Copilot industry use case. Coming to the Copilot bots use case. So let's explore this insurance industry related use case here. So the insurance industry has been doing a very manual process for placing insurance, claims, regardless of whether it's a $1 billion company or a $1 million company. So this particular insurance firm saw an opportunity to enhance the speed of this process. And one part of that was to connect agents with the underwriters. So quickly finding and connecting agents to the correct underwriter was the key to successfully writing this business. So the solution they came up used Copilot bot that allowed sales folks to easily find the correct underwriter. So which you can see on the slide here. So they were able to enter just the basic information, and then the bot produces back the underwriter who's responsible for that business unit. Only with two simple inputs, and it was able to pull information from 25,000 to 30,000 lines of data to return the exact person for that exact agency. So the base Copilot interface was the only thing that was needed here in this case. It also met two critical requirements. One is the ability to access on a phone, and the second is ability to make connections in real time. So for example, if an agent is asking questions, they can just take the information from the bot, connect on the Teams app, and have a real-time chat as well. So folks, having seen this industry-related use cases, it's time to see a quick demo of these. So just to give you a quick demo of the Power Pages today. So to navigate to the Power Pages environment or the technology, so you need to navigate to make.powerpages.microsoft.com. So let me do that again. So we have it here, so I can just go there. So as soon as you navigate there, you have an option, two ways to create the site. So you can start from the template, or you can even start from blank. Okay. So let's start with template and see what are the options that we got. So here, if I click on the templates. So you have different type of templates to choose from. So there are some starter layouts here, and you have some things, some templates, divided according to the categories. So one is for application submission, one is for registration. Okay, you can even see more here, but we are more focused on the starter layouts for now. So let's pick one of the layouts and start from here. Okay, so let's preview this template here. So we have a chance to look at the layout of that here. So you can click on this sliders and see the different subpages or the main page, how it looks like. And if you're satisfied with that, some issue with this, yes. So there seems to be some issue with the templates. So let's actually go back to our original Power Pages. See, we have already created some sites using that templates. So I just wanted to pick one of them and just show you today. Okay, so let's pick the hospital insurance management. So this portal, for example, can help the hospitals track the insurance claims, right? So there might be some scenarios where the patients have reimbursement insurance, or they can even file the cashless claims in the hospital. And it might be some tedious task for the hospitals to manage all those insurances with them. So in that case, they could create something like hospital insurance management, and they can manage all the claims from there. So to start from here, let's click on edit. So it just takes a moment to create that, show that site. So as you can see here, like we have already discussed, there are 4 workspaces. So one is the pages workspace that we have talked about, where you can see all the pages. There is the styling workspace, where you can style this site by using different themes. There is data workspace, where you can work on your Dataverse tables. And there is even the setup workspace, where your admins can manage, the site administration, like visibility, permissions, or the identity providers, etc. So let's start from the pages workspace here. So as you can see here, there are about 7 pages that we have already created for this hospital insurance management. So let's say I want to go to About Us and see what is the content there. Okay. So let's see, let's say, we don't like this content, how it shows up here, and we wanted to rewrite this so that it shows a different alternate text to your users. So one of the ways is to use Copilot. So here you can, once you select that text, you can just click on Copilot and it will give you an option to rewrite or change the tone, even make it shorter or make it longer. So I'm just clicking on rewrite here. So it's creating an alternate text for us. So the previous text was, we provide a comprehensive insurance management system, and the alternate text that we see here in front of us is our advanced insurance management system ensures. So let's say I want to replace that. So with just a quick click of a button, it changed that description for you. And even you have an option to change the images, the default images that were produced by using the Copilot or the template. So you can just click on image and go to, in this example, I'm just using one of the stock images. I'm just searching for maybe hospital and get some images. I just wanted to, let's say I've just picked one of these. So this image will be uploaded there. And in a moment, you'll see that the image will be changed. Okay. So the image got changed here. And we have an option to, even add the data into this pages. So for example, we have a page called insurance details here, where, you can enter, the patient can log in and anonymously enter all the details, like patient name, age, insurance provider, what is the insurance limit, etc., all the details that are required for the insurance claim. So let's just click on preview and see how that looks like. So you have an option to either view the desktop version, or you can use your mobile to scan that QR code and open it in your mobile as well. So for this demo, I'm just clicking on the desktop. Okay, might take some time. Yeah. Okay. So finally, we are able to get that preview. So just give it a minute for load. Okay. So here it has opened the page called insurance details for us. I can see from the URL. So this is how the form looks for the patient. So once he or she logs in anonymously, they get this form fill out. So I've just entered some of the random patient names here just for the demo before, but I can even create some more. So let's say just I can enter the age, let's say 7, address, just give some random address, 67. And insurance provider can be, let's say, if you take the case of the US market, there are some insurance providers like Blue Cross Blue Shield. So in short, I just said BCPS. Okay, and insurance limit can be, let's say, 500,000. Okay, you can provide your phone number. Just use some random number. So I haven't added the validation yet, but there are options to add the validations also for this form. So here, sterling@gmail.com. Let's pick a random date of birth. So 9/5/65 as an example. I haven't calculated that age, but I'm just picking a date of birth. So emergency contact can be, for example, it's as per blood type. So we have kind of choices field here. So you can pick from any of those. Let's say I pick this. And I have this height, which is decimal. So I can just type 5.0 or 5.1. Yeah. And weight, let's say this is in pounds. So 180 as an example. And it asks for any allergies, just say, asking for medical history. I mean, just for this demo purpose, I just don't want to do anything. And it asks for the insurance expiry date. So let's say 8/10/2024. Submit. So it usually takes the form and submits it to the backend list, and you get a message like submission completed successfully. So if the hospital personnel want to view that information, they can go to, even the patients can also come here. So they can click on the claim status, and you have the data here for the latest person that you have entered. So you have an option to even filter by the patient name in case, usually there are a long list of patients, right? So I've just included a filter to filter by that patient name. But in this example, we only have a few, so that's really no need. But as an example, I'll just show that. Let's search for John, click on apply. So it just shows you the John Doe as a patient name, and it shows you all the information. And we have even added columns like status and status reason. So the status, I mean, I haven't really edited that, but usually you could say in progress, or, complete, or, awaiting documents or something like that. You can give the reason here. So that is one of the use cases for this Power Pages. So this particular component that you see here is called a list. So it basically, shows you the data in read-only mode for the users. And the other component that you have seen earlier, like a form, that's called a form, and it connects to the backend database table where your patient information is, and it updates or creates or deletes the information based on what level of access you have given to that particular user. So you have the access to give it for the authenticated users, or you could give it access anonymously, or you can give access as an administrator as well. So that is the third case is usually for the company's administrators. Okay, so that is one of the quick use cases, or let's say quick demo of the Power Pages. And coming to Copilot, so since in the interest of time, I've already created one of the Copilots here. So this, just to give you a brief introduction about this. So this is a generic Copilot where I've fed some public websites as data sources, like we have discussed earlier in one of the slides, right? So the Copilot can take information from external websites, or it can even take information from internal knowledge bases. Like you can even, upload the documents, or you can point it to some internal SharePoint site as well to get that information. So, but in this case, I've just tried to, fed some public websites from here in India. So let me just refresh it. So just to show you those. can just say files so that it opens up. So I've included few public websites from India. So one of them is weather.com from the Indian side. And one of the other websites is Indigo Airlines, which is a popular airlines in India. So one of the website here is related to the Elections Commission in India. We have recently went for polls recently, so just was curious and just wanted to try that. And the other source that I connected is the Bing News. Okay, so my chatbot or the Copilot bot can now go and search for information in these 4 connected websites. And even I tried to upload this document related to licensing guide from Microsoft, so that I can even try to grab some information from that. Okay, so let's see one of the examples from this. So let's say I wanted to see the baggage limit for the Indigo Airlines for domestic. I can just type that here. So as a question, what is the baggage limit for a domestic flight Indigo? It's just to be more clear. So if I just hit on enter, it should now go into one of those sites, like specifically Indigo site, and get me the baggage limit for that. So as you can see here, right, it has given me some information that the baggage limit for the domestic flight in Indigo Airlines is 15 kg per person. And it has even given some effective date as well. So this is one of the examples that you can achieve. It's not only about generic AI, generative AI. You can even feed your, for example, we had the information about the patients and the insurance policies, right? Insurance claims in the Power Pages side. You can even connect that data source, this Copilot, and the patients can come to the site where, for example, this Copilot might be embedded into that Power Pages site. They can even ask questions there directly without even looking into that list that we have seen before. Okay, and as another example, let's try what is the something like that. Let's try and see if it can answer that. Sometimes you'll have to type it again just to be more clear. Let's modify my question to let's say when are the votes being counted in a state called Sikkim, maybe. Okay. Let's try and see if it can get that data. Okay, so yeah, there might be, since you'll have to train your chatbot properly before publishing it. So since this is still in preview mode, there are some, there will be some errors here and there to refine that data, right? So let's try. Okay, let's see if that can get some data from there. Okay, so after multiple attempts, if it's not able to grab that information from that particular knowledge source, it can directly connect you to a live agent. In that case, your agent might be using Teams or any other chat agent that might have a connector to this. So just wanted to show you some quick examples, really. So in real time. So that's how your Copilot and Power Pages could be used. I mean, and in creating this, it didn't take me that much time, and it's literally created in like 10 minutes by taking all those data sources. And just as the last final thing, since I've uploaded the document and the status is ready, let me see if we can get some information from licensing. what are the So I guess it has gone into that document and found some information for me. So it says Microsoft offers different enterprise licenses, including M365 Enterprise and Windows 11 Enterprise. So you can see the list here actually, and it even gave me the references for that. So that's how you could use internal sources as well to get the information. So I guess that completes the quick demo part of today's webinar. Let me switch back. So yeah, so let me stop sharing.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that, Rajesh. Let's now get to some of the questions from our audience. We have a few interesting questions here in the chat. Let's start addressing each one of them. Our first question for today is from Jeff. Jeff is wondering, what operational practices do you recommend for effective and responsible use of Copilot in generating bot topics?
Sure, Melissa. I'll be happy to answer that. So can you please repeat that question again? Sorry.
What operational practices do you recommend for effective and responsible use of Copilot in generating bot topics?
Okay, so yeah. So Jeff wants to know what are the effective and responsible use cases of Copilot, right, in generating bot topics. Okay. So Jeff, for any effective and responsible use of Copilot, so I recommend this, some of these operational practices. For example, you can define a clear objective. So what I mean by this is, so establish the purpose of your bot and the topics it will cover. Okay, and this helps in creating very relevant and focused content. And one of the other aspects is regular updates. So you need to keep the bot's knowledge base updated with the latest information to maintain relevance and accuracy, right? In one of the recent demo, I saw that when I tried to get some answers with some prompts, it was saying that no information was found. So that happens when we haven't properly trained that model yet, right? So you need to take your time and train the model and give the appropriate sources for the information for it to give you that relevant information. And off the top of my head, I can also say you can also focus on content moderation. You can implement content moderation policies to filter out the inappropriate or the offensive language and topics as well for the responsible use of Copilot.
Okay.
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rajesh, for answering that question, and thank you, Jeff, for the question. Moving on, let's go to the next question. The next question is from Bert, who's from the US. Hi, Bert. Bert is wondering, what are the best practices for ensuring optimal performance on basic forms within Power Pages?
So ensuring this optimal performance on basic forms within Power Pages will, it involves several best practices. For example, efficient data configuration. For example, you can use a data-driven configuration, which allows your end users to add forms without even needing a developer. That is one of the things. And the other thing might be, to use proper table permissions. So where, for example, in one of our examples, right? So the patient's table, you can even add more restrictive permissions on that so that when a patient logs in, so they can only see their particular data and not everyone else's, because that is especially, that contains patient privacy information, right? So in those cases, you can secure your forms by creating table permissions that will determine access and ownership of this records. And one of the other thing would be optimized form initialization. For example, you can control the initialization of this form within your portal by setting up correct relationships to the web pages. So those are some of the best practices that I could think of.
Okay, thank you, Rajesh. Thank you, Bert, for the question. Our next question is from Fran. Fran is wondering, what are some of the common pitfalls in managing Power Pages environments, and how can they be avoided?
So let me think about it, Fran. So what are the pitfalls you asked, right? So thinking about it, I can say that uh, there are there might be some common pitfalls that you should be aware of. Like, for example, overlooking Dataverse requirements. So that is one of the pitfalls. So Power Pages is actually built on Dataverse, so which is essential for this data storage and management. So you have to, for example, not understanding or properly configuring Dataverse can lead to some issues, right? Right. Okay. And other thing is misunderstanding authentication. Uh, Power Pages is designed to work with modern identity providers, and if you're not using the built-in authentication as designed, this can complicate your user access. So that is one of the other pitfalls that I can suggest. And the common pitfall that we see is neglecting security. Security is a very important aspect, right? So ensure that all the customizations and your data integrations comply with security best practices so that you can protect your user data. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you once again. Uh, Moving on, I think we'll take one last question for this session. This last question is from Ernie. Ernie is wondering, what are the primary considerations when moving a Dataverse environment to a different geolocation or tenant about Power Apps?
Sure, Ernie. So you wanted to know the considerations for moving a Dataverse environment, right, to a different location. Um, I would say that you have to take these primary considerations, to keep those in mind, right? So tenant to tenant migration is one of them. So if you're moving your environment from one tenant to another, so it's important to understand that your environment is not physically moved, but it is just reassociated with the new tenant. So you'll need to submit a support request to initiate this migration to Microsoft. Okay. And the other thing that I would like to consider is geographical region changes. So for example, if you're moving your individual environments to a different geographical region, right? So your tenant now becomes a multi-regional tenant. So this may also, necessitate enabling your regional features in the Power Platform Admin Center by using the support team. And one of the other considerations would be data loss, right? So there may be a potential data loss during migration and additional steps. And any additional steps might be required from you. So it's crucial to confirm if any solutions that will be installed in your environments are migrating, and it will require any additional steps either from you or the Microsoft support. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you so much for answering all of these questions, Rajesh. That is it from us today, folks. Rajesh, thank you again for the insightful session. A big thanks to everyone who joined us. We appreciate your active involvement in today's webinar. We will be sending a recording link via email soon so you can review any parts you wish to revisit. If you have any additional queries, please feel free to contact us at hello@abstractcorp.com. We are very eager to assist and continue our discussions. Have a wonderful day and evening. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining this webinar. Thank you.